frustrated. He's waved his hands in the air, walking in. He's not happy. But I think overall City have done well. They've got their noses in front, but they need to keep pushing and not get complacent in the second half.
So that's the end of the first 45 minutes. A goal from Foden inside 3 minutes we thought might be the beginning of an avalanche. It's not turned out to be that way. Yes, Vindal in the Sparta Prague goal has made 2 or 3 good saves, but so too Ortega to deny Bermancevic. So this game far from done, but at half-time in the third match of the league phase, it is City 1, Sparta Prague 0. And we've got David James, Steve Howey, and of course Cel Spellman.
Thanks for joining us at half-time in this Champions League game against Sparta Prague, and it's Manchester City 1, Sparta Prague 0. Steve Howey and David James with me in the Matchday Live studio. Thank you for joining us. David, Kit mentioned in commentary that we were looking for control here in the studio. Did you get that control so far, and what have you made of the first half?
I thought, well, obviously it was a very good start with Phil Foden's goal. Wonderful, wonderful goal. I mean, everything about it was great. I think overall, yes, definitely. I mean, possession stats, you're going to tell me what they are at some point, but I reckon they're around 74%, which some of us might have predicted.
45 minutes to go yet, David. 45 minutes to go.
But I think generally there's been a load of control, but what I do like about the game, they're 72%.
Sorry, we'll come good.
Yeah. What I liked is the fact that Sparta, as we were talking about before, are not a rubbish team who are just going to lay down for Manchester City. So even after 3 minutes, they created a breakaway chance, 5 attempts on goal. One or two of them have been a bit iffy, granted, overhead kicks and shots from 45 yards or whatever, but City have still had that control of the game. Phil Foden's come close, Erling Haaland's come close. Goalkeepers had to work to keep it at 1-0. So at the moment, scoreline is correct. City well on top.
Just while we have got the stats on the screen, I mean, at one point we were nearly we were in the late 200s, and they think they'd had less than 30 passes or something. I think. I mean, even there, 373 to 89. I mean, it's quite an unbelievable that stat for me, Steve.
Well, it is. I mean, but I think it was mentioned at the start of the game, for them to be switched on for this length of time, for 90 plus minutes, is going to be very difficult. Yeah. They've done it the first half. I mean, yes, they were breached very early in the first half, but you're just looking and up to 10 yards outside their box, that's where pretty much every player, Sparta Prague player, has been. I mean, there was one point, I think it was in the 41st minute, every player was in the 18-yard box. Yeah. And that's just in general players. So it just goes to show how congested that is. You can see Erling Haaland getting a little frustrated because it's impossible to really get to them because there's just bodies all around them. And as Jamo said, there's been a couple of chances. Goalkeepers made a couple of saves that you would expect them to save, having said that. But they still have that threat. They haven't really been in the game, but they've had a couple of shots. Again, as Jamo said, a couple of iffy ones. But there was that breakaway when I think it's Nunez and Rico kind of switched off and the lad was in, and it's a good save by Ortega. But they'll be going in the dressing room, and yes, they've worked hard, but they're still in the game. Yeah. They've still got a chance. It just needs a breakaway, and they've got a goal, and all of a sudden, the City players, they'll be thinking, we need to step it up again. So fair play to them in the first half. They've dug in there. They've made it difficult. But if City can get a second goal, I think that kind of kills them off a little bit. But you could see the manager just coming off there. I'm not too sure whether it was because of the performance or something else. Yeah. But you could see Pep was frustrated about something.
I wanted to ask about that, whether we know if this is something else, not too sure. But do you think there will be frustrations? Is it from the game? Is it them lapses in concentration? Is it the fact we've not really, got the goal, managed to get that second goal, David? Yeah. If there were any, did you have any frustrations, and could they be Pep's?
No, not really. I mean, City being 1-0 up and dominating possession and having most of the chances at half-time is quite normal. Yeah. It's even normal at 0-0, So I don't think Pep will be overly frustrated with that. I reckon it was just right at the end, and we were saying watching the game that the ball that Rico Lewis intercepted could have gone to Savinho, who could have gone into a position, and then the final whistle goes. Pep was in that moment, I think. And it was just, we could have been 2-0 up going. I don't think he'll be overly stressed. I mean, the one thing, having said that, again, when we look at the bench, there's only 5 outfield players available. And therefore, if he wants to change it for any reason, then he's limited on his choices. Not the quality, but the number of choices that he might have.
Yeah, and tactically what he might want to do. Let's look at the goal there again. Came quick, 3 minutes in. Phil Foden back in the fold. Second goal in the Champions League this season. And, another classic from his left foot, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, a player that we'd mentioned, he hasn't probably played as much as what he would like to this season. I think he's been kind of frustrated, but how he took his goal, the touch, then he gets in front of the player. The player basically has to stop, otherwise he brings him down. It's on the edge of the box, could be inside the box, he doesn't want that. And then he hits it across the goalkeeper. I'd sort of said to Jim, I think the goalkeeper could have done a little bit better. He disagrees, but then again, it's the goalkeepers' union, you can't say anything against goalkeepers. But it's a good finish.
And also, he's come close a couple of times, Dave, but we just know that left foot, he is an absolute marksman with it, hence the celebration.
Yeah, everything about it. As I said at the start of the half-time show there, the fact that he had to go round, like Steve was saying there, round a couple of players. There was contact in controlling the ball to get in the box. And the view from behind the goal was spectacular.
Yeah.
Because you look at Phil Foden just looking at the ball, and then as he's about to strike it, he looks to where it's going to go and he puts it in the bottom corner. If you're the goalkeeper, you're trying to read all these signals.
Yeah.
And quite often the player will say, look, my body is telling you where this is going. There's no way the goalkeeper would have known where that was going. Yeah. As obvious as it looks in the end. It's a class finish, and I'm not blaming the goalie.
No.
We'll do the positive. We'll say it's a fantastic finish.
It's a fantastic finish. Phil Foden back on the score sheet. One interesting thing I wanted to point out for the lineup, for those who might not have been able to clock, I'm not sure if Ali mentioned it in commentary as well, Mateus Nunes, of course, starting. I was thinking a little bit naively it would be him in the middle with either Gundogan and Bernardo or Gundogan and Phil. What actually it's turned out to be is Gundogan with Phil and Bernardo in the middle, Nunes out on the left. And what have you made of his performance? But why do you think Pep's gone for that? Obviously, it's always hard to second.
Yeah, it's always. I haven't got a clue what Pep's thinking in all fairness, and I daren't even think to try. But obviously, he's out on the left. Now, I thought he started quite brightly.
Agreed.
He got the ball. He was looking dangerous. He's drifted out of the game a little bit. But having said that as well, I think whilst he has got in some good positions, and I was pleased how he started the game, just his final ball probably wasn't the best. The crosses into the box. That's me being quite a bit critical. I know it's harsh, but I think just the fact that he was really easy to find. He had his backside against the touchline, so it was always an out ball, and he was getting at players, trying to put players in. So I thought he started very well.
Yes.
On the other side, Savinho was getting into the game a little bit later on, and he looks the tricky one. And he's getting round his full back and cutting balls back again. They've been cut out, but it's not surprising because there's that many bodies in there. I think sometimes if you get the byline, can you just dink it up, just hang it up there?
Yes.
And then you can maybe get Haaland to attack them. But I think he'd be a little bit frustrated because Nunes, because he started quite well, but he's drifted out a little bit.
Yes.
He'd want to be more involved in the game.
And I guess as well, maybe with just the quality of that final ball, which even in the last few games, I'll say, as a fan, I've maybe wanted it to be, if we are being super critical, a little bit better. Maybe as well, if you're hanging it, more chance for Haaland to do something when there is not much space in the box.
Yeah, you say that, but there've been a couple of balls in. The save, I thought it was a fantastic save off Haaland's header, was testament to that. I mean, what's interesting is the little chip-ups into the centre of the box. Haaland's already on the edge of the 6-yard line. They're behind him, where you'd expect Gundogan to come running.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't think Pep will be overly frustrated, but there'll be a question of what role players are playing at the minute.
Yeah.
Because all these opportunities coming, even Savinho cutting in, it's not producing. He isn't producing the shot on target. And I wonder whether he'll go on the left-hand side and see what change will happen there.
Yeah.
Because they're getting enough possession around the box, they're getting enough crosses into the box, but they're not getting enough shots on target.
Yeah. And
even when they did, the goalkeeper has made it.
Yeah, no, there was.
He doesn't like goalkeepers.
There was a good save there from Haaland. There was a good save from Haaland as well, very clear when the keeper got down well. So it is kind of coming on the other side of the pitch. Nathan Ake, of course, coming back from that injury. I mean, just slotted right back in. Looks very, very solid. I think Pep said before the game he's hoping that he'll have 90 minutes in his legs, which would be great. But he's looked to fit right back in, Steve.
But he's a quality player. I mean, I don't think he, as a defender, you don't want many times if he's the last man, it going in what we call either the channels or the gully, which is like right in the your corner, and then he has to sprint and then sprint and then sprint. You know, if he does that a couple of times, you know, especially with him coming back. His first game back, you're then becoming a little bit susceptible to a little hamstring strain or a calf strain. So he'll not want that. So really, he's best off trying to speak to the other lads like Kanji and stuff. You know, if it goes in the corner, kind of you do that. He'll want to kind of look after himself and ease himself in. I know you're sort of saying ease himself in. It's the Champions League game, but how he can manage the game, and I think he could do that. And he probably will do that. But having him back is obviously brilliant to have.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially because we know we're coming into games every 3 days. Let's take a look then at the current Champions League table as it stands. This is also, of course, with other results. Liverpool as well, completing, as it stands, they're 3 out of 3. They're beating Leipzig 1-0, so that will put them back on 9 points. Bayer Leverkusen there as well, of course, played earlier, but they only got the draw, so that leaves them on 7. We're there, of course, as well. So as it stands, that looking like top 8 will... I mean, Brest as well, a surprise one in there for me, David. You know, goes to show that anyone can kind of get involved, really, in this top 8.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, this new format, as much as they can do some kind of model and thinking on how it's going to look, it'd be difficult to put any particular team in any particular position, which makes it fantastic. What will be interesting, I think, from City's point of view, Liverpool, Aston Villa more so than obviously the City or Liverpool, will be after 4 or 5 games, whether or not the priority is the Champions League. Teams like Brest is a priority Champions League at the sacrifice of their domestic league, because that one extra win might be enough to get them through. You know, and that's when things start getting tricky. I'm actually quite liking it.
Yeah. So I mean,
I kind of don't like it.
Yeah.
But I actually do like it. It's a weird one because I'm used to the old format.
Of course.
But as Ian said, which is spot on, if you're pretty much guaranteed to be in that top bit where you want to be, the manager's going to see you're not playing in this game, you're not playing in that game. And you can see other teams getting annoyed because you're like, there was a full-strength team against us.
Yes.
It's not against them.
Yeah, and as well, I think Karen Carney, who was on with Jolene before, mentioned around that goal difference will probably come into it. We've also got just where it stands as well. So even, I mean, after 3 games, even Bayern Munich down there in 22nd position at the moment. They're currently playing Barcelona, who are beating them 3-1. So that puts Barca on 6 points alongside Real Madrid. I mean, AC Milan as well down there. PSG as it stands. So even the big names at the bottom is almost as surprising as seeing Brest and maybe Villa at the top of the other end.
Yeah, when the format was announced, the one thing that I felt might happen is some of the bigger teams just won't understand how to play. And it sounds almost stupid considering the amount of data personnel they'll have. But you go into these games, it's right, we'll catch up. It's not to say they won't.
Yes.
But to be there right now is not ideal.
3 games in,
exactly, And I think what City are doing, you know, if it's a 1-0 win and we don't have any more goals to score, talk about before the end of the show, then it's another 3 points.
Yeah.
It's fine. If, let's say, with Liverpool and Aston Villa up there, it's fine.
Yeah, you just want to get the win. And as we say, we're kind of limited to maybe what Pep can do, just given the smaller number of substitutions. We've mentioned that already on the show. Moving into the second half, concentration feels like it's going to be key, Steve, and obviously just carrying on keeping this element of control, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Sparta Prague are concerned, the manager will be like, keep it as it is, can we catch them on the counter-attack? I think Pep will be thinking, can we get another goal? If they get the next goal, it's game over. In my point of view, and then they can keep possession and just, they might have the odd attack, but as long as it doesn't come into anything, and then it's going to be a comfortable evening.
Yes.
But it'll be interesting to see how they start. I very much doubt that there'll be any changes.
No.
But as I said, if they can maybe get another early goal, that just makes everybody think, let's just keep the ball, let's just pass, let's just play. And then just get through the 90 minutes, 3 points on the board, move on. On
to the next one. Lovely stuff. David James, thank you. Steve Howey, thank you. Thank you to you as well. Right, let's get back to the game. I think Sparta Prague might have a substitution on the way. City look unchanged. Alistair Mann and Kit Simons on commentary. See you at full time. Thanks for watching. Come on, City.
Welcome back to the Etihad. Both teams out on the park, and indeed a change for the visitors there. Bringing on Krasniki, who is a Kosovan international. He's a winger actually, so easy to see who they've taken off. I've had a look round to see who it is. It's not immediately apparent. It is in fact